We begin this morning with the presidential race as both candidates hit the campaign trail today in battleground states. Longtime Republican and vocal Trump critic Liz Cheney joined Vice President Kamala Harris at a rally yesterday where she argued Trump is unfit for office. Well, Trump shot back at them both on social media, saying that they are, quote, suffering gravely from Trump derangement syndrome. Meanwhile, Trump held his own rally in Michigan yesterday where he spread a new baseless conspiracy theory about hurricane relief funds.
They stole the FEMA money just like they stole it from a bank so they could give it to their illegal immigrants that they want to have vote for them this season.
Very early on, Donald Trump was, spreading a lot of mistruths or lies, whatever, about the post-hurricane, how the administration dealt with people suffering from the hurricane. But can we talk a little bit more about just the background that goes to this conspiracy theory? Where did this come from?
Well, Anne-Marie, the goal here by former President Donald Trump is really to tie the disaster relief and the response from the Biden administration to Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, of course, she's part of this administration, but he's claiming that FEMA has run out of money and is not able to distribute any resources because they've been spending that money on migrants coming across the border. The White House is vehemently denying this, saying in a statement that the disaster relief fund is specifically appropriated by Congress, and it's for these types of moments like Hurricane Helene that have caused just massive damage in North Carolina. So that's the focus, but they're also saying that it's completely separate from any funding from DHS or FEMA in that regard. Now, this also comes as former President Donald Trump will be back in Georgia today to tour some of that storm damage. And it's important to note that he will be there with Georgia Governor Brian Kemp. And it's the first time these two men will be in person together since 2020. They had a previous rocky relationship over the results of the 2020 election when Biden won that state and Trump tried to deny the results of that election. But they'll also be meeting today after Trump had made comments about Kemp, saying that he's a bad governor, attacking his wife over saying she would not vote for former President Donald Trump. So all of this coming today as Trump is going to be back in Georgia touring some of that damage.
So moving on, the Harris campaign is hoping that Liz Cheney can help them win over some Republican voters. I want to play some of Cheney's sound from yesterday.
This year, I am proudly casting my vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. There is not an ounce of compassion in Donald Trump. He is petty, he is vindictive, and he is cruel. And Donald Trump is not fit to lead this good and great nation.
So how valuable is this endorsement for the Harris campaign?
Yeah, there you hear Liz Cheney on the campaign trail for Vice President Kamala Harris yesterday in Wisconsin. Now, all this comes as they're touting new people on the campaign trail. The goal really to have Liz Cheney out there advocating for Vice President Harris is to get to those suburban women, the women that perhaps might not want to vote for Donald Trump for his rhetoric, have waffled on voting for him in the past. It's those types of women that the signaling that the Harris campaign is trying to give is that even if you're a Republican, we want you, we want to represent you, and we want you to vote for us. So that's really the goal there. But also the big news today is that former President Obama will be back out on the campaign trail. He'll be campaigning for Vice President Kamala Harris starting next week, next Thursday in Pittsburgh, and that's with just 27 days to go until the election. So all of these big hitters coming back out on the campaign trail for Vice President Kamala Harris to really gin up that support, that enthusiasm with just, several weeks to go until November, making sure they're getting out the vote, the young vote in particular. And, former President Obama is one of the best orators of the Democratic Party in delivering that message. So the goal there really to kind of bring it home for Vice President Kamala Harris and her campaign.
All right, Olivia, thank you.